Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Nava. I am part of Team 4, the Kamakura team, and this is our presentation for how to use Sugoroku, and how the Japanese use it to promote values um throughout the country. First, we're gonna start off with Juan.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Juan. In this video, I will be talking about the Imperial Army Fierce Battle Sugoroku. This was likely produced in the late 1930s, a time of escalating militarism in Japan. The details of the weapons, such as tanks, air combat, and modern artillery, suggest wartime context. The game uses military greens, black, and brown. These colors heighten the drama of the battlefield to appeal more to the players, once again showing something thrilling and heroic. The goal is to reach the central victory scene where all the soldiers are shown cheering. This shows the ultimate outcome is to win. This game reflects the Japanese militarized education in the late 1930s, which wanted children to see themselves as the future soldiers. This aligns with the influence of the ultra nationalist ideology in Japan's military campaign in Southeast Asia. The educational message here is that you must be loyal, brave, and sacrifice for the country. The game glorifies war and shows that going to war is something heroic and a noble mission. The player learns from this game that everything needs to be done to win the war, and to have honor meanwhile doing it. That's it for me, guys.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next slide, and now it's Kai's turn.
Hello, my name is Kai, and the Sudoku that I chose was Aviation World's Sogoku. This was originally created in the 1920s, a little time after the First World War, and the initial target audience was traditionally children, teens, and families that were in a growing middle class within Japan. The goal of this particular Sudoku was to start off from Japan and then travel across the world and then making your way back, passing through various landmarks and various landmarks, places, and seeing various people. Places like greater parts of Europe, Asia, and Malaysia. This was made particularly, or sorry, the the message behind this particular Sudoku was the underlying message of modern science and aviation along with world travel, basically connecting with after the First World War, Japan became more open with the greater world as a whole. And so this was seen as a form to basically get or sort of romanticize and kind of show off a form of adventure within the actual country itself to basically look out behind its borders. This was also additionally created during a time that was known as the Taisho and early Shoha period, which again saw various means of scientific growth and wanting to look beyond the border of Japan, such as either across the ocean to China or even past that. And that is it for me.
Oh, okay. All right, good job, Kai.
Thank
All
you.
right. Next up we have May.
So my Sugoroku is about the 1936 Berlin Olympics. You can basically see that it's about the Olympics because of the olive wreaths. There's a bunch of sports, and there's Olympic rings all around it. And you can tell it's 1936 because there's a person doing the Nazi salute in the background of the central photo. The main color of this game is red, because the background, it's in a bunch of the photos throughout the game. The red probably is to encourage nationalism and patriotism for those who are playing the game. And the audience of the game are probably young children, especially like young girls, because the central photo is of a young female athlete, and there are many there are also many other female athletes throughout the games. Um, to win the game, the player must train or like participate in the different sports throughout the Olympics. Um, and as they play, they'll be learning like that the importance of physical strength, like discipline, commitment. Um, and then like, when they win, like they'll realize they'll have national pride and sportsmanship representing for Japan. They'll become like the ideal athlete that Japan wants. And the educational message for this game is that the players are serving Japan by being athletic, disciplined, and loyal. They're being the prime example of being like physically fit and everything. And the game promotes a message of athleticism, national pride, and empowerment. Um, it's to educate and inspire the youth to embody the ideals of discipline, hard work, and sportsmanship while emphasizing patriotism and national identity. We're also highlighting female athletes, which is um, during this time there was a shift towards more recognition of the woman's role in society, which aligned with Japan's effort to modernize and bring themselves to the world stage in the early 20th century. So yeah, that's my game.
Okay. Good job as well. Finally, or lastly, we have me. This Sugoroku was made in 1916. As we can see, the primary colors are like red. It uses a lot of red. Uses also a lot of yellow and like orange and some blues. I feel like it uses the bright colors to get like the attention of like the people or the players. This specific one was printed out on a paper. I believe it was like on as a poster. The story it tells is about a soldier, a pilot specifically, and it seems that the pilot goes to carry out a mission and he comes back home successfully. Um, I believe the reason that they're pushing this story or promoting like the soldier going out on a mission is because during this time, between the 1900 and 1930s, uh, Japan saw a lot of war. They participated in World War One, and they also had the Japanese Russo war against Russia, where Japan fought in the Japanese Sea. It was a pretty historic event, and it was a great victory for Japan, which like pushed their motive for their ambitions for imperialism. Uh, what was it called? I believe that the end goal of this game is to find the winner spot, which is if we look at it, is in the very middle, all the way at the top. And then the starting position is also in the middle, but at the very bottom. And unlike other Sugorokus, this one is not numbered or has a path or a trail. And I feel like that's part of the challenge for this one specifically. The player needs to figure out exactly which way to go and how to read the story of of the soldier of their fighter pilot. I believe the purpose um for this one is to encourage Japanese men to join the military and to maybe like have a sense of morale boost because in this board game here in this Sugoroku, it shows a military victory, and it kind of shows the military victory that they had against the Russians and the Japanese uh Sea War. And then that's all for me. And then for our thesis of the Sugoroku, I believe that the Japanese used them in various ways. For example, in the one that I used for this project, it was a military campaignish one where they were trying to encourage people to maybe like enroll in the military and just like feel like full people with courage. And the one that May did, it was about the Olympics, and she also mentioned that there's a woman in the middle, which during this time Japanese was trying to modernize and put women like as a higher social status. They had their values were changing. And yeah, I just believe that they were used in various ways to promote many things that the Japanese value. And that is all for our project, guys.